We are back with CDL or Bust Day 4. Joey Wilson, our friend, is in the Skype room now. Joey, I heard you got some good news earlier today about your test.
Yeah. So, I got my Class A permits. But, of course, I had B's, so it wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that bad?
No,
Did it seem like it was real long?
no, not at all.
Really? Were you? It sounds like you were really confident going in that you were going to pass this thing.
Yeah.
Just because you've been driving the dump truck, or just because you test well, or you've been enjoying the class material, or all that stuff?
Probably all of the above.
All right. Was there one question that was the hardest?
They're all have different difficulties. So, I mean, some are a little bit different than others, and they try to trick you up. So
I
it's
didn't.
just
Go ahead.
it's just part of it. So,
I didn't ask Wayne this. Where did you actually go to take the test?
um, I think Wayne and them went to their county in Shepherdsville. We had to go to Bowman Field, a few of us,
Go where?
you know, Bowman Field
Bowman Field. Where is that?
in Louisville. It's Louisville, so
And a computer gives you the test, or some guy standing over your shoulder saying, "Test, start open your books" or something.
it's like a kiosk. You know, everything's on the computer.
All
It's
right. So it's not like being
virtual.
back in high school or anything like that then.
No,
Do you remember when you took your B test? Was that more nerve-wracking because you hadn't done one of these yet?
yeah, definitely was.
Did you pass that one on the first shot too?
Nah, I failed air brakes by one question, and then had to go back the next day. So
Have you guys all seen each other since you got back from the test taking and the class been back together? All 7
yeah,
people?
except yeah,
I know Ryan's running around with his physical.
yeah, Ryan's running around.
So Teddy and Russell didn't pass. Are you guys trying to bolster their spirits and saying, particularly with your case, saying, "Hey, I messed up the Class B one time by one question, passed it the next day. You guys are going to pass tomorrow." Are you giving them any kind of confidence boosters?
Well, of course, we've gotten to know each other a little bit better. So, we kind of joked around at first, but we've talked to them about anything that they need help on. We try to help them figure out the questions. If they could remember which ones they got wrong, help them out. And but yeah, I feel confident that they'll get it the next time around.
They seem like they're really upset, or they're okay with it right now.
I mean, I think they're all right with it now, but the first little bit of that, I'm sure anybody's upset. I know I was.
Yeah. Um, you've been in the classroom now for 4 days, on and off. Tomorrow you're supposed to actually start getting outside, get under the engine a little bit. I mean, under the hood, look at the engine a little bit, get to know the truck physically as opposed to on a piece of paper or a video. You kind of pumped for this and starting to drive next week as opposed to sitting in that classroom hour after hour.
Well, of course, who likes sitting in the classroom all day?
Teachers,
Well,
professional
they go to
students.
school for that, you know.
Uh, Joey, you drive a truck. It's a different kind of truck, but it's a truck. Some of these people have never driven a truck in their lives. You think you're way ahead of the game starting next week because you've done this?
Yes and no. Because I've driven with gooseneck trailers and everything, and it's the same basic point, of where the trailer and truck turn. But it's a different ball game for me too. But it's still the size. It's just a little bit longer. Just get used to it. So.
You've also got trucking in your blood. Tell the viewers who haven't met you yet. They'll meet you. They met you online, and they'll meet you in print on Monday, but they haven't met you this way about the trucking background and your family.
My grandfather, he was in trucking for the longest. He was worked at CF until CF closed down, and that was like one of the first and largest trucking companies. And he's been a teamster for all these years. And of course, my dad, he still drives, and he actually works for a place right down the road from here. So
Did either of them drive long shifts? I mean, over the road, long distance driving, or they've always driven local?
my grandpa, he did more local stuff. My dad, he's usually driven over the road. This is his first local job where he's actually been home every night.
So when you were growing up and your dad was gone a lot, did you kind of resent trucking, or you always wanted to do this?
Not really. it wasn't my first option to do. Like, of course, I had other interests, but I've known how to drive them for a while, and of course, I like getting around in them and playing around, but it wasn't something that piqued my interest until I realized, hey, I ain't got a problem driving and staying out all day, so why not try to make a career out of it?
Did you think when your dad was driving there was anything cool about it back then? Did you ever want to get in the cab and say, Dad, give me a spin when I'm 12 years old?
Oh, I mean, probably not 12 years old, but I remember whenever he worked at JB Hunt, I was probably like 5, and he had one of them cab over trucks, and I thought it was just the biggest thing ever. But I'm knee high to a grasshopper then, though, too. So
What's your dad saying now about you doing this? Is he all for it?
yeah, all my family's really on board with it and supportive. They just want me to do well, and they're just glad that I'm doing it and sticking with it.
3 generations, and you got a fourth one. Trenton is 7 years old now, right?
Yeah,
Have you given him a model truck yet?
no.
Does he know what you're about to do?
No, I don't think so.
Can you see one day like 4 generations of the Wilsons doing this?
I'm hoping he's smart enough that he can work smarter and not harder for money. So,
You said on your information sheet when you filled it out at first, what should we know about you? I love monsters and fast food. And we're talking about monster beverages now, or we're talking about
yeah,
monster trucks.
no, it was beverages. Yeah, my girlfriend was with me, and whenever we were doing the paperwork, and they asked, of course, that's when found out they were going to do the stories on us and everything, and I didn't know what to put, so she just wrote something down, and I was like, really? But
The fast food, is there a particular establishment, one you like better than the other?
not really. I mean, I just you know, try not to do the same thing twice in a week if I can get away from it.
What are you most looking forward to about becoming a truck driver? I'm not driving a dump truck, but driving a 80,000 pound truck.
um, I mean, just better job opportunities. Um, like I said right now, I mean, it's more of a year-long thing instead of hopefully, weather breaks and everything. Because in the dump truck, I mean, if it's raining too bad, there's certain places I can't pull and deliver loads or get dirt or anything like that. And those trucks, those are up to 80,000 pounds too. It's just the difference between the trailer and not a trailer.
Hey, speaking of different kinds of trucks, we had, I don't know if you knew, when Kevin Birch came and spoke to you today, the first vice chairman of the American Trucking Association, who owns Jet Express in Indianapolis, that the camera was turned on with the audio. So we were supposed to be able to hear what Kevin was saying, but it was breaking up some. So I did hear his message to an extent was basically there are a lot of jobs in trucking, and if you go to a certain carrier, doesn't mean you have to stay there the rest of your life. If you don't like it, you can make a change. Were you surprised how blunt and honest he was? That he wasn't trying to say trucking's the greatest thing of all time and there's nothing wrong with it?
Yeah, I was very surprised, for someone saying, coming in saying they were president of this company and them shooting everybody straight. I know a lot of places ain't going to do that because they're trying to get drivers or not answer questions or get aggravated because you ask so many questions. And you know, he was a realist.
So you appreciate that.
Yeah.
You think the class kind of agrees with you? They were glad he came and talked to him and gave him a pretty straight message.
Yeah, I think they were. I think we were all surprised because we thought he was gonna come in and like try to offer, like be a recruiter
Right.
and not just, just tell a story. And it was very different, but it was good.
Did he talk to you about getting his CDL and becoming a trucker himself?
Yeah, said
And
it was said he said it was difficult, and I was surprised that when he started his story, he said that he had been in trucking for so long, and then he's only gotten his CDL like in the past 5 to 7 years, and it was
did
just surprising.
Joey, did he at all put a thought in your mind that maybe you might want to work for Jet Express?
I mean, they seem like they got their stuff together out there. From hearing him speak, I might have to do a little bit of investigating on him and see see if he's about it, and maybe try to put my iron in the fire, I guess, so to speak.
Indianapolis not too far. Hey, last thing, weekend's coming. You got tomorrow. You're gonna do a little more in the classroom, and then you get outside, like we talked about. Got big weekend plans. You're looking forward to not getting away from this group a little bit for a few days.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I got a little bit of stuff to do around the house, help my grandfather out. That's about it.
All right. So, guys, this is our buddy Joey Wilson. Thank you so much for taking the time. And Joey, we'll hope you enjoy tomorrow and the weekend, and we'll talk to you next week. And hang on for a second. Thanks, Joey.
Yep, thank you.